was back at the 1st of June. Garth Brooks played here in Birmingham in what was described pretty much by everybody that went as a great time and an amazing concert. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I'm not like a huge Garth Brooks fan, but I do enjoy some of his music. And I have tried to figure out over the years why he's so popular, what his formula is for keeping his fans as long as he has now. He's been in the upper echelon of, I think that's the way you say that, echelon. He's been at the top of the game now for over 30 years, and that's with taking long breaks and coming back, and everybody still going nuts for him, buying his music, sometimes multiple times on different formats, going to his concerts repeatedly. And I've never been to a Garth Brooks concert, and I did not go to this one. I do want to preface that. But one of the things that this show really opened my eyes to was the fact that this guy connects with his audience maybe better than anybody else in the game. Just simply because I went through and read a bunch of the comments online, and you can always tell that there's going to be some negativity when you go snooping around online to see the feedback of people on just about anything these days. But this Garth Brooks show, which was the first big show at Protective Stadium, which is going to be the new home of the UAB Blazers football and the USFL games. This was the first concert at this new stadium here. And it was sold out. It was, just a big, big event. Of course, anytime Garth goes out on the road, it's a big event. But this one was huge. And again, everybody loved it. And I went through these comments, and it's just one just positive thing after another. Everything, everybody just loved. Here's one from a lady named Katie. She said, "He is an absolute master entertainer. His energy knows no bounds. I saw him at the BJCC a few years ago, but it must have been a monster show at the new stadium. Lucky Birmingham, and congratulations." So she was talking to somebody else. She didn't go to the show, but again, a positive comment anyway. Let's see. Garth never disappoints. Amazing show from Alicia. Let's see what else we got on here. Fantastic concert. It was amazing. It looks like you found the perfect seats. Looks like a good concert. Happy. Everybody's just love Garth Brooks. Best concert ever. He just did a great job, they say. On and on and on. He is a master of country music. On and on and on. This one lady said she met him and Trisha at a pizza place while placing an order. They both spoke to her and were the nicest people. He is amazing. Wow. So by all accounts, a guy who, and I think he's Garth's in his late 50s now. He's been around a long time. A guy who has done it all, still enjoys getting out and doing this at a high level. Still has a bunch of the people that were playing with him back in the day playing with him now. So I bring this up because right at the end of May, me and a friend of mine went to see Travis Tritt, who started out and, hit the scene at the same time Garth did back in '89. And in my opinion, is one of the most talented country singers in history. And of course, he's, will never be remembered at the superstar level that Garth is. Garth sold a ton of records. Travis Tritt has too. And not to make this a competition, but there wasn't nearly as many people at Travis Tritt as I'm sure were at Garth Brooks. And Travis was amazing. We had a great time. This is the second time I've seen him. It's amazing to me, though, that the guys from the class of '89 are still out there doing their thing and still connecting with people. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that that music has so much substance to it, and it's music that touched people back then, and maybe they play now for their kids or their grandkids or whatever, but it still holds a good place, like it should all these years later. I mean, a lot of the modern music now, I don't know if it'll ever be remembered the way that this music has been. But to get back to the subject at hand here, Garth Brooks really, really impressed me with the way that he not only marketed this concert, but the way that he came out after the show and gave thanks for everybody coming to see him, and it's just amazing that the guy is still doing it like he did it 30 years ago. Just out there, just making money, man. Making all kinds of money. There ain't no telling how much he's worth. I mean, to put it in perspective, I think that George Strait had a good 7-8 year start on Garth Brooks. So George Strait started in '81. Garth Brooks has eclipsed his net worth at the last time I checked by $200 million. And Garth really has 7 albums that sold really well, physical copies. Garth Brooks' 7's album, I think, was the last one. Scarecrow came out after 7, so 8 albums that really, really sold, from their release date very, very well in the old, format of releasing an album every year or two. Garth Brooks had about a 9-year run as far as being a charted artist, and ever since then, he's been out, on the road doing this thing, with breaks, of course, but I find it fascinating that he basically is the reverse of what I guess it's kind of not necessarily the reverse, but in kind of the vein of the Beatles. If you think about what the Beatles did, they only had, just a handful of years 6 or 7 years as a band and released, less than 10 albums, I believe. And then ever since then, it's just been, worldwide fame and reselling the music, and people still love that music. And Garth Brooks apparently has figured out a formula that has hooked these fans to where they'll never not be Garth Brooks fans, almost like Elvis, in the same vein as Elvis. People who are fans of his never turn their back on him, no matter what. It's very, very strange. But in the past, I have been critical of him, and I don't know if it's my maturity level going up or what, but I see no need in trying to pick apart why he's been so successful anymore. I get it. I was 13 years old when Fresh Horses came out, his album in 1995. And I remember getting it that Christmas. I had to have it. Not that I wasn't even a huge Garth Brooks fan, but I had to have it. I had to see and hear what he was up to. And Scarecrow was the last album I bought of his, and I believe that was around 99 or 2000. But I, even now, moving different places and whatnot, have gotten rid of a lot of physical copies. And today I went by the local Goodwill here to just check out some things and see if I find any old movies or albums or anything. And I found a Garth Brooks box set with the first 6 albums in it that he had obviously released on, around Christmas, like he did for so many years and probably still does. And I bought it, $7. So I got his first 6 albums for $7 because he refuses to put his stuff on streaming services. So I'm gonna burn those to my computer, old school style, and listen to some of those. I put on Fresh Horses and listened to the first 3 tracks on there before I started doing this, and I was reminded of why I liked that music back then. And like I said, I haven't listened to him as much because he's not on the streaming services, and we all use Apple Music or whatever nowadays, or whatever you prefer, and he's not on there. I think he's got a deal with Amazon Music, but I don't have that. So that's the reason why I bought the physical copies. I'm going to go back and listen to some of those and maybe analyze them and see if I can find some things that I maybe overlooked back in the day listening to his music. And yeah, so Garth won me back over with the way that he treated Birmingham, and I got nothing but respect for him. Any negativity that I tried to, I don't guess I was really trying to be negative. I was just trying to pick apart why he was able to do this for so long, and that's a pointless endeavor. It's kind of like people who get on the internet and leave negative comments. It's just kind of pointless. But hey, opinions are just that. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Garth Brooks' performance at the Protective Stadium. The people that I know personally as well all had a great time. Only complaints I saw about anything about that show was the parking situation, which that's a Birmingham issue, not a Garth Brooks issue.
This was Josh Porter many doors are in this juke joint?